Okay, so moving on, I've had cravings. I am craving, one thing is very unhealthy, I'm craving Coke, real Coke, Coca-Cola, okay? I craved that with Sophie too. I think what started that craving with Sophie though was that when I was in Egypt, my first trimester traveling, and the food just didn't sit right with me. I just didn't enjoy the food while I was there, and it's not because it was like too spicy or flavored weird or something, or in a way that I wasn't used to, because I'm from Texas, so I'm used to really flavorful food and spicy food and all kinds of spices and different taste, and I mean I'm used to that. Actually their food was the opposite. Their food was Mediterranean and it was kind of bland to me, and I guess I had been expecting it to be more exotic, and it wasn't. It was a little bland to my taste buds, right? So it was actually, the food was pretty good, you know? I mean, I would have added some seasoning to it, but it was pretty good food. So I don't know why it didn't sit right with me, but it didn't while I was there. I reached this point where I was just like, I don't want, you know, bland chicken, and I don't want any more bland rice, and I just didn't, I pretty much just stopped eating, which I know is horrible, but that's what happened in Egypt. I was just like, ugh, I just couldn't stomach food anymore, and it had to be because of the pregnancy, right? I know that if I'd probably gone another time, I would have been like, I just would have added salt to my chicken, or, you know, some seasoning, and been totally happy. I probably would have been really glad it wasn't something that was so weird, you know? I would have been happy that their food was so good. But I think because I was pregnant, it just, I don't know, just didn't sit right with me. So anyway, while I was there, the only thing that would make me think of home was like Coke, when I could get a real Coke. And so I wanted a real Coke, and I don't know if it was so much because I was pregnant or I just was craving Coke as a person, as just being homesick, because I was not the only one. Most of the people on our tour were like, wanted a real Coke. So anyway, I think that triggered it though. I think something in my brain was like, you know, and I remember in Egypt too, you know how like here in America, Coke products are more prevalent. I mean, lots of places have Pepsi products too, but Coke products are kind of like win, right? You're more likely to find Coke products when you go out to eat than you are Pepsi products. But in Egypt, it was the opposite. There was more Pepsi than there was Coke, and I didn't want Pepsi. Like for some reason, the Pepsi when I was pregnant tasted like fake sweet on my tongue, and I couldn't even handle it. And I don't like Pepsi now, and I used to like Pepsi, but now I just don't even drink Pepsi. I'm like, oh. So, and pregnancy turned me off of it. It just tasted artificial to my pregnant tongue. But Coke has that like kind of bite to it, and whatever reason, it worked, right? So when I was in Egypt, I would eat like a piece of toast and some Coke. I know that's really unhealthy, but it was better than starving myself. And I did lose like 10 pounds while we were there, but I got sick too. Completely unrelated to the pregnancy. I just got like digestive sickness, which is totally common when you travel to another country. So anyway, long story short is I think that I might be craving Coke because my brain is just remembering that incident from back with Sophie. I don't know if there's any other reason, but I am definitely craving a Coke. I think it's the bubbles too, because carbonation helps my stomach when I don't feel good. And normally though, I would just drink a Sprite or a Diet Dr. Pepper or something. But no, I want a Coke. So Kyle offered, he was like, do you want me to go buy Cokes to keep in the house? And I was like, no, I do not want to have real Coke in my house. So yeah, that's not happening. But what I do is I'll just have like a real Coke. If I'm really jonesing for a Coke, I'll have a real one when we go out. So, and FYI, it is totally safe to have caffeine while you're pregnant, but they recommend that you keep it below about 200 milligrams. And sodas, it's the amount of caffeine they have in them, you could have literally like 6 sodas in a day to like even get close to having that amount of caffeine. And I don't come even close to that. So having an occasional Coke is totally cool. So yeah, so craving Coke, but the other stuff I'm craving is much better. I'm craving pineapple. Oh my gosh, I feel like pineapple's a gift from God right now. I feel like it just tastes like magic in my mouth. I just love it. I just want to go eat some right now. And I got this big thing of pineapple at the store, like already cut up in little chunks, and I told Kyle, I was like, Kyle, I don't know if it's the pregnancy or if this pineapple is just liquid gold, because it is just so awesome. And I wanted him to taste it. I was like, is it because I'm pregnant that it tastes amazing, or is this pineapple actually that amazing? So I'm just gobbling up pineapple like left and right. And then I've been craving Caesar salads. Caesar salads. not salads with any other thing else. I want Caesar salads. So Caesar salads are a favorite of mine when I'm not pregnant, and now I love them. So some people will tell you to be careful when you eat Caesar salads when you're pregnant, because a real true Caesar salad recipe can involve raw egg. However, restaurants in whoops, sorry, I heard something. Restaurants in America, so I don't know what the standards in other countries, but in America, restaurants are not allowed to make Caesar salads with raw eggs. They have to use a substitute. So you don't have to worry about it. You can go out and have your Caesar salad and it's totally cool. So yeah, I have just, every time I take a bite, like I order Caesar salad someplace and I take a bite of it, I'm like, take one bite and it's so delicious, and that dark romaine lettuce is just like, oh, and you know, most of the time, Caesar salad, another reason I like them is because you know how when you order a salad from a restaurant, sometimes you want to order the dressing on the side because they just like smother it in dressing? Caesar salads usually are very lightly dressed at most restaurants. Now, I'm sure there's some restaurants where they like pile it on, but it's usually just the right amount, and it's just like, all that salad is it's just like dark green, the best kind of lettuce you can have, and then like, you know, that Caesar dressing, that little tang to it, and it's just like, I just take one bite and I just like can't get enough. I'm like, oh, usually when we go out places, I never finish my salad and I always give it to Kyle to finish, and now I'm like poor Kyle will be sitting there waiting to eat the rest of my salad like he's used to doing, and I'm like, I'm sorry Kyle, I can't stop eating it. So yeah, so Caesar salad, pineapple, and Coke. I don't know. And besides, I think that's about it. And as you guys can tell, I'm feeling so much better, and I'm kind of hyperactively talking right now. Yeah, so I had a bunch of tangents in this one, like little anecdotal stories, but there you go. So I hope everybody else's pregnancies are progressing nicely. So happy to be 9 weeks pregnant. If I don't go to full term, I'm already a quarter of the way done, and I don't think I will go to 40 weeks because as most of you know, and if you don't know, I'm going to tell you right now, with Sophia, I was supposed to be induced on the day I turned 37 weeks. And that weekend before I started having contractions, I assumed they were false labor. When I went into the hospital to get induced, on the day, it was actually 36 weeks and like 6 days pregnant. That night, they hooked me up to the monitors. They were going to induce me with a little pill that helps open your cervix. They started the process. They had me on the monitor. The lady came in and was like, how long have you been in labor? How long have you been having regular contractions? And I looked at Kyle and I was like, I told you. I was like, I thought I was having contractions, because early labor doesn't always hurt. So anyway, the whole point of that story is I didn't end up having to be induced. They stopped the induction process. They actually had to slow my labor down. I never had Pitocin. I never had to have anything. I just had Sophie in like 10 hours or something. I got her out in 7 pushes, and my body was already putting me into labor before I got induced. So because of that, I'm like, they say that a lot of times, and I know so many people are going to be like, I had my second child after my first, you know, the length of time. I know that, but it is common too, though, to have your second child might come earlier. So if it does, you know, I just don't know if I'll make it to 40 weeks, right? So anyway, I just keep thinking about that. And you know what? It's going to be the middle of the summer in Texas, so I'm totally cool if I don't make it to 40 weeks. That's awesome. But anyway, I'm just moving along. I'm excited to get to the second trimester, though. For some reason, that feels better to me. And it's not just because of the fear of miscarriage thing. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like more real. Like the first trimester, I still have like moments of like, you know, is this the real life? You know, is this just fantasy? I don't know. Anyway. Bonus points if you got what I just referenced there. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to go because I totally need to go eat some pineapple now that I talked about it, or I'm going to die. So I will talk to everybody next week and show you guys the belly, and that's it. And I'll see everybody for week 10, because that sounds awesome to say. Double-digit pregnancy time. Woo! All right, so that's it. Bye, guys.